Hey guys, Cole here. Welcome back to another Watcher of Realms video. We have the new fusion that started basically yesterday. I wanted to cover it earlier, but I've been busy lately. Smile One. What is Smile One? It's a top-up website that collaborates with Watcher of Realms, and they also collaborated with me. Every time you use my link, it's gonna say up on the top cold brew, right? Because that helps me out. I'm not, I'm being transparent as I'm allowed. And yeah, you just top up, you get about a 10 to 15% discount, especially if you're used to spending on your phone. Guys, just compare the prices from here. You just add up your user ID here on the top and then your server ID, and you'll see immediately that it's gonna say the name of your account, which is, well, mine, it's this cold brew. If you want to top up for me, you can do that, guys. I'm just saying. But yeah, you can do that. You choose whatever you want. You can pay with PayPal, credit card, or even crypto if you're that into crypto, and you save a little bit of money on your top up on your purchases. But by no means you have to spend, guys. In this game, you don't have to spend. Spending in these types of games just makes things a little bit more interesting because you can get more toys, more new heroes. As I say, new heroes are like toys and playing around with them in this game, but can, of course, don't have to spend. Just saying, this supports me and it also helps you out with like a 10% discount. Let's get back into the video. Croor, new defender available for the next 20 days that you can summon. How do you summon the guy? Well, it's a fusion where, if you're familiar with Raid Shadow Legends, it's basically you collect epics, you level them up, you ascend them, and then what do? Well, you fuse it together to make the legendary. So Draga is the other part of this equation. You get these rares, you fuse them together, you get Draga. I have Draga already. You can summon for Draga. She's not available in the summons right now, so that would have been cool, I guess. But obviously they want to make it an effort, and you doing all the events and Oracle trials that will be going through the next couple of weeks. Remember, guys, these are not by any means extremely difficult to complete. I've found, at least. Even the summons required are not that many. Like, I believe like 40-50 summons should be enough for you to pick up the rare needed through the summoning event. And then you fuse and get Draga. Should you go for Draga only and then not Croor? I think getting as many legendaries as you can, if possible, would be ideal for any account out there. And defenders are nice and can be very unique. So let's cover on what Draga does for just a couple of seconds, and then we'll go over the legendary. So her damage scales off of defense. Basic attack has a 30% chance of restoring 5% health. Pretty cool for a defender doing damage based on defense. It means you'll be hitting a little bit hard while also being tanky. It's the basics of how a hero should work, in my opinion. If it's a defender, just do damage based on defense, right? But they have to specify it in the talents in this game for it to make, well, to make sense, I guess. Upon activation, max HP plus 15% defense plus 15%. That's her ultimate. Nothing too crazy. She just becomes tankier and then attacks up to 3 enemies ahead, dealing 150% damage and inflicting damage reduction. This can potentially be good, but I mean, for a defender, there's many defenders out there who are better. Namely, one of them, Olag. We get him for free from the Void Rift. Do you really need another one? Well, it depends. She's Nightmare, so if your Nightmare faction trials are having an issue, maybe you can use her instead. But in my opinion, you'll find another use for your Nightmare heroes, and you don't really need her to be tanky. There's other legendaries who are just attackers and can still tank a little bit, especially my boy Wrath, who I actually use for tanking sometimes. I think I used him in my faction trials, and he tanked relatively well considering, and he can also heal himself. So do you really need a defender? You can probably use Wrath for that thing. So the next part is Croor. Let's have a look at Croor. I think Croor is interesting. The last time I checked on him, when they gave us like an infographic, I think he looked interesting. So Northerner this time around. Defender, normal damage. Damage reduction control is the tags here. Not sure though. Sometimes they don't give the right tags on. Like, they could have added more tags on them. On our website, warcodex.com, we actually have more tags depending on their skills. So if they have a stun, they might not have the stun here. They just have control. But we include that as a tag, so it's easy to search for and find specific heroes. So let's say you want a team full of champions, well, heroes that can stun. You can do that through our site. So always link down below in the description, guys. So physical attack. All right, basic. Nothing too crazy. He's a defender, so I'm not that amazed by the default attack. So his iron defense increases block by 2. Nice. And defense by 70%. So boosts his damage as well as the block that he can do. I don't like that it's a very costly ultimate though. 900 cost. A little bit high, isn't it? But I think he can tank. I mean, if you can block 5, potentially 6 enemies, it's not nothing for sure. Can help you maybe with the Northerner's trial. If you still don't have something, if you can only use Olag, who is free, then you get this guy. He can help. So we'll see. His passive, Braveheart. Once HP drops below 30%, immediately enters a state of anger, bellows at up to 10 enemies ahead, and inflicts attack reduction on them. So attack reduction just drops their attack by 20%. Not damage. Just their attack though. Huh. Why not damage? I'm not sure. The next 5 basic attacks, changing to striking at most 10 enemies ahead, dealing 150% AoE damage and inflicting stun. That is nice. You can stun 10 enemies? Just think about this. The ultimate is not available during this stage. This effect can only be triggered 1 time per deployment. Oh, come on. So one-time thing. The stun is a one-time thing. That could have been potentially good if he can rotate that with his ultimate. Why limit it to 1 time only? 1 time only stun is... How is that useful? Especially if the next 5 basic attacks, I guess it's 5 times the stun. So you control enemies a lot with this, and hopefully during this time you'll be able to kill them. So his attack interval is what, 2.4 seconds. If you don't give him too much attack, he'll be doing 1 attack every, let's say you drop it this to 2 seconds with some attack speed. You build him with some attack speed. So you hit once every 2 seconds. So with this, just hear me out, guys. With this, you hit 1 time, 1 second, 2 seconds, hit 1 time, and you're stunning them. You stun 1 time, then 2 seconds. You stun them again. 2 seconds, you stun them again. The stun duration is 2 seconds. So in theory, you can stun them for potentially 10 seconds in a row. That sounds okay, but it's very specific. You'll have to count on him dropping health. Anyway, let's check on his final passive. Based on the number of adjacent allies, increases physical damage reduction and damage dealt. This effect reaches a maximum of 12% when there are 3 allies in range. Very similar to what Isolde has. Isolde, one Northerner epic lord. She does have physical reduction and block, I think, if there's adjacent allies. I think also Olag has similar thing with adjacent allies. So for the Northerner's trial, because I did play it and it was the last one I completed. I think that was like my last video or something. You needed to basically have no allies in range because they would die from those big AoEs. So I don't know how this would help a lot. But this goes up by 12%, another 12 here. So 24% boost in physical damage reduction and damage dealt. But it's only for himself. He doesn't change the defense of allies. All right. He's okay. I just wonder on his damage. I'm going to check on the test server if I have access to this guy. Maybe I can make a video on him. But usually with the fusion, I haven't missed a fusion in the game. And it's not like you have to go overboard and think about it and strategize on how to complete them, which I like. These games are supposed to be mobile first, right? So, and you know, friendly for our time. So when gaining shield strength increases by 20%. Oh, that sucks. I mean, I'm being honest here. Defense plus 200. During the state of anger, basic attack restores an additional rage of 50. Yeah, but the ultimate doesn't change much, does it? Then A5, the state of anger has a cooldown time of 60 seconds. Oh, okay. So instead of this being a one-time only, Is it? Because it still says this. But come on, at A5, I need to get him to A5 for him to be a stun locking champion, stun locking hero. Sounds a little bit too much, doesn't it? Right. Let's check on the event calendar, guys. As you can see, you'll be collecting the rares throughout, so have that in mind. Just do not feed these rares. These are locked by default, so you'll have them, but you need to level these up, ascend them, right? So we'll promote them, as it's called in the game, and then you make the epics, and then you feed the epics after you promote those epics and level those epics. So it's not as hard as it seems. I've reached a point in Watcher of Realms, guys, where I have so many heroes that I can sacrifice, like from both the rares and from everything else. I don't really need to level up stuff anymore. So I have lots of these, the XPs, and I usually level up stuff for the sole purpose of completing the what's it called? That's a weird name that they have for leveling up heroes. Anyway, not the Oracle Trial, the event one. Forgot the name. Corridor of Glory, I think it's called. Yeah, those give you 2 skill up crystals. Those are the best things to do, honestly. But yeah, I haven't even tried, and I completed this today, and I got this guy, and haven't even really tried for this one yet. But this one doesn't cover it, right? Spiritual Altar, I did some summons. I did get it again for free, for basically free. 40 summons, didn't even have to dip into my gems. 40 summons is something that you should be able to acquire with no real trying, with all of the stuff that the game gives. The refreshes every day, you see it at 70 gems, so at cheaper price. You buy them and you don't touch them until the right time comes. So yeah, that's it for today's video, just covering the fusion, guys. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.